Going on, guys? Today, as you saw in the last video, recapping the card UFC 328. Obviously, banger card. We all saw Sean Strickland pulled off the W, new champ. So we're all hyped about that. Joshua Van, he also got the win via TKO, which I was correct about the video before that. So just looking up, we got a couple of different matchups coming up now. Obviously, Sean Strickland, who's he got next? Khamzat Chimaev. Is there going to be a rematch in the works? Who's Joshua Van going to be taking on? So, starting off, Sean Strickland, new champ, obviously. Said he wants to take a little time off, obviously, and help his boy Alex out at the White House. So, right after that, I'm guessing it's May now, maybe Madison Square Garden. He could defend the belt against Imavov. Obviously, this guy is next in line for the title. If Sean Strickland did not win in the fashion he did against Fluffy Hernandez and have the beef with Hamza Chimaev and everything, Imavov would have had the title shot before him. Obviously, he's put on a very good resume since losing to Sean Strickland on a 5-fight win streak. He's got wins against Brendan Allen, Kai Barallo, knockout win over Israel Adesanya, all very solid wins, and he is entering, he's really in his prime right now, looking very solid. So I think this is going to be a great matchup. Obviously, this is the second fight between them. Sean Strickland came in on short notice in the first fight and was able to beat him, over 5 rounds. Both these guys really sharp, on top of their games, and I'm really torn, leaning towards Sean Strickland by decision. Think it's going to be a real close fight, probably a 48-47. Imavov striking, very, very good. But Sean, I think, is just in his prime right now, figured out everybody. And, so I think he's going to be able to find his way into another W. But very good matchup, should be a great fight. Most likely going to the distance. Both these guys super sharp. Not the best KO power. Obviously, Imavov does have some, as we've seen, but should be a great fight. And I'm guessing I'm gonna say that probably Madison Square Garden, November, maybe September, maybe that might be another option. So sometime in there, but Sean is definitely more active, which is great to have him back as the champ. So we should get some more fights this year. Next up, we got Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, very close fight, very close loss. But I think it's already been confirmed that he has talked to Dana, that he is going to move up to 205. Obviously, these weight cuts, which is crazy that he even made 170, So he is really, really big right now. So it seems like he will be moving up to 205. Not going to have a rematch against Sean Strickland, which, I think would be another really good fight. But, I think that weight cut is just too large on him right now. So, in my opinion, he should move up to 205, hopefully, by the end of the year again, maybe in Abu Dhabi. I know he said he wanted to fight there again. So, October, that could be a possibility. And I think the best option, I've seen this with a lot of people, and, this honestly makes the most sense with the beef these guys have already had and just the overall fight and how they should have fought already. Paulo Costa, obviously, we saw him move up to 205 as well. And TKO Mirzakhanov, amazing performance. I mean, he looked so good. He's looked very good in his last couple performances. So this should be a really good fight. Obviously, they were scheduled to fight in Abu Dhabi, I believe in 2023, and Paulo Costa pulled out. So hopefully we can see this fight again at 205. Obviously, both these guys should, be much better at light heavyweight. As we've seen, Paulo Costa already looked very amazing. His kicks, body kicks, doing his thing, looking very sharp. And then Khamzat Chimaev, without that massive weight cut, how much better is his wrestling and overall, fighting going to be at 205? Should be a great matchup. In this one, hopefully it'll definitely be, I'm going to say, co-main event in Abu Dhabi in October. Hopefully it's 5 rounds. that would be ideal, just to see, if Khamzat Chimaev can keep that cardio going. I would, I don't know. This is a super close fight. I would honestly, it depends on how the weight cut looks again, Paulo Costa, obviously, great takedown defense, very sharp striking. And I mean, like we saw against Mirzakhanov, those body kicks, I think they're going to add up against Khamzat Chimaev. And I could honestly see a late TKO, it's rounds 4 or 5, or a decision win. So in that case, that's saying over 5 rounds. 3 rounds, I'm definitely leaning more towards Khamzat Chimaev. I think his wrestling will be extremely sharp at 205 as well, and have more energy with less of that weight cut. But still, I'm thinking over 3 rounds, leaning Khamzat Chimaev. 5 rounds, I think Paulo Costa. Overall, should be a great matchup, especially at 205, where these guys aren't as drained as we saw them both at 185. I think that fight would have been amazing. So I'm really hoping we can get that rematch. And honestly, whoever wins this should be fighting for the light heavyweight title next. Maybe this becomes a interim belt depending on how long Alberg's out for. But whoever wins this, in line for a title shot at 205, and should be a great matchup between them. Moving on, Joshua Van. Obviously, I called his flawless performance. Well, not flawless, but amazing performance from the guy against Tyra this Saturday, and I mean, just great. And everyone was doubting him. He, being called fake champion. Obviously, it's not his fault. Pantoja broke his arm. He can't do anything about that. Obviously, the guy's gonna be happy. He gets to title fight the next. Way more money. So, and then he came in this fight, shut everyone down, got the TKO late. Amazing performance. And as we saw, Pantoja was obviously in the crowd. I'm not sure what his situation is, his timeline to return, but it seems like he is getting ready to go. And I think he will be the next one to fight for the title. Obviously, he deserves an immediate rematch because he's been, his title reign has been one of the best at flyweight since Mighty Mouse. He's beaten everyone besides Van, obviously, in pretty dominant fashion. And I think he, once he's healthy, he should definitely get this title shot. Not sure the timeline on him. Hopefully it's by the end of the year, maybe December, November again. We're not totally sure on his return, but I think he should be coming back soon. So overall, this is going to be a great matchup as well. And I think, honestly, people are going to be underestimating Pantoja going into this fight as well. They're going to compare him a lot to Tatsuro Taira when they're not, they're both have some very heavy grappling styles. But we've seen Pantoja really good striking as well. I think better than Tatsuro Taira, way better chin, better cardio as well. So I'm not really sure, but I think that people will be doubting Pantoja, especially with the lines that have dropped with Joshua Van being an underdog as well. But that being said, Joshua Van has looked so sharp. This will be, if they do end up getting announced, this will be his third training camp, training for, more grappling heavy style. So I think his takedown defense will be on point again. And, we've seen that power, especially this last fight. He has some of the best power at 125, and I think this is going to be a great matchup. I am so torn. I'm not sure. As of now, I am leaning. I don't even know. I think we're just going to put, to be determined once this fight gets announced, if it does, because right now, I'm not sure. Going on next to Tatsuro Taira. Obviously coming off this loss to Joshua Van, but he still should be in a good position, still at the top of the flyweight division. And in my opinion, I think he will get the loser of this fight right here, Manel Kape against Horiguchi. I believe the winner of this will be in line for the next title shot if Pantoja is not back and ready in time to fight Joshua Van at the end of the year. I think they will get the title shot, or whoever wins this will get the winner of Joshua Van versus Pantoja when that fight happens. So then I believe Tatsuro Taira will get the loser of this. Very tough to say, who's going to win this matchup. Both these guys, very different styles. Again, Manel Kape, very striking heavy, some of the best power at 125. And then Horiguchi, more grappling, but, has looked so good and well-rounded in his last few fights. I'm not really. I think I'm going to lean Horiguchi in this fight, so I believe Tatsuro Taira will fight Manel Kape if he loses. And in that fight, I think I would lean Taira more, depending on if it's a 5-round or a 3-round fight. Obviously, Manel Kape, that power, and we've seen Taira's chin. It took a while to be cracked, but it did at the end. And he just has some amazing power in his hands. But also, we've seen him been out-grappled against Moikaev and some other losses, so should be a super interesting matchup as well. But, let me know in the comments, who do you guys think should be matched up in these divisions and for these belts in the near future? We'll see you guys later.